Hello, Sandy.
Howdy, is this Melinda?
Yeah.
Hi, Melinda.
Hi.
Should I share my screen?
Yeah, please. But before that,
Okay,
I want to introduce you to our audience, Sandy.
okay.
Yeah, give me 2 minutes.
All right, you betcha, girl.
Yeah, thank you. And Sandy Austin is an internationally recognized speaker, author, and executive director of BIONIC, that is Believe It or Not, I Care, a non-profit dedicated to empowering students to build compassionate, inclusive school communities. With 20 years of experience as a professional school counselor, Sandy has become a leading voice in helping children and teens navigate trauma, bullying, suicide, and the aftermath of school violence. Her groundbreaking BIONIC team initiative, now active in schools from kindergarten through college equips students to reach out to peers who are struggling and remind them that they are seen, valued, and never alone. A TEDx and international speaker, she is the author of 3 books, a two-time Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, an American School Counselor Association ASTA School Counselor of the Year finalist, and has served 3 terms as president of Colorado State School Counseling Associations as well as ASTA's crisis facilitator. You have done a great job, Sandy, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much. Let me see if I can get this shared in the right way. Uh, let me see if I am doing this. Hold on 1 second. I see that. Let me do this. Sure, great to see. Well, I don't see everyone yet, but thank you for being here, everyone, and thank you for you being here today. That means you care, and so we thank you. We appreciate you. And let me see here. Let me. We have. We're a little bit early, so this is good. Um, let me go back. It looks like I'm not doing that right, and I think I'm going to get this right, Melinda. So we will do this. Let me stop sharing for a minute. Okay, let me try sharing again. Oh, let me start sharing. Thank you for being here, you guys. So again, my name is Sandy Austin, and let's see here. And so I live in Denver, Colorado. So hi, Bibi and Kaya and Beatrice and Dr. Juliet Spencer. Thank you for being here, girl. One of my fellow speakers. Great to see you all here today. So something is happening here. I'm not going to panic. We will get this going, right? So let's start. Let me do this. Let me do this. And let me do this. Maximize. And Melinda, can you see the screen? Can you see my slides? Hi, you guys in the chat. Can you put whether you can see my slides or not? It's good we're here a little bit early, so no. All right, so let me see what is just happening here. I had it all ready to go and everything, and it's still loading. Okay. All right, so again, I'm coming from Denver, Colorado, and what is happening is in our schools today. So in America, schools are getting ready to start for this year, and so kids are getting anxious. Any kids last year that had any bullying, they are hating this. They are dreading the beginning of the school year coming. And so let me see, I'm still looking here. This all worked so smoothly last night. And I would rather not have to do, well, okay, let's go. I'm going to select my PDF file. Now I got to go back. Hold on 1 second. We'll punt. Let's do this. We've got this. Okay, so let me see here. We'll keep going, you guys. And
Sandy, we
yes,
will operate the slides from our end. Okay.
you do it. Okay, you go, girl. Good job, Melinda. All
Yeah.
right, so go for it.
Yeah. Thank you. Please give
All
me a
right.
minute.
All right. All right. I see Kimberly has joined now, and Elizabeth and Hilda. Can you put in the chat where you guys are all coming in from? Where do you live? And thank you. Great job, Melinda. Wait for you guys to be ready. This is interesting. I practiced last night and I was just on and don't know what's going on, but that's okay. We've got this. Long Island, yay. Hilda, North Texas, yay. Dr. Juliet, I taught in Texas for 2 years. We got to talk sometime, girl. All right. So here we go. So let me make that bigger for me. All right. Good job, you guys. All right. So, okay, so you guys can go ahead and go to the next slide. I'll just say next whenever I'm ready to go to the next one. And you guys will have to forgive me. I have a bit of a cold, and so I may need to keep drinking some of my tea. So anyway, all right. Screaming sirens, flashing lights, yellow crime tape. Nothing could have prepared me for what I was about to face walking into this Columbine High School shooting tragedy. Next slide. Then 2 years later at my own school where I was a school counselor, 4 suicides, 4 more funerals. I will never forget. At the start of that school year at one table in art class, there were 3 students. Just 3 months later, only 1 student was left at that table. And the kids started asking her, when are you going to kill yourself? We had to change those conversations. Next slide. What happened? Those suicides, those first 3 suicides happened from November 5th to December 3rd. And we just had to get out of that semester and everyone to get home and to be able to recover and try to process everything that had happened in those 3 months. And so when we came back to school in January, we met with every single English classroom because every student was required to have English. And so we met with those classes and said, you guys, 1 month ago, we had 3 students walking through our halls and they are not here anymore. We said, you guys, we've heard that all those guys had told a friend of their plans. And the interesting thing was, you guys, is in working with the Columbine school shooting, we found out that those guys had told some of their friends their plans to shoot up the school. So with the guys at my school that took their lives by suicide and the guys at Columbine that shot up the school, they all told a friend their plans. And in that classroom, when I was talking to the kids, I said, you guys, please, if you guys hear any friends that are struggling, that are talking about suicide or hopefully not shooting up the school, but if you hear that your friends are dealing with some very difficult things, please tell us. We said, because you guys don't know how to talk to your friends about suicide. We do. As the school counselors, we know how to talk to your friends about that. And if you want to come in and talk with your friend about that, great, you can come in and talk, or you don't have to, but please tell us if your friends are hurting, you guys. Please tell us. Right then at the back of that, one of those, no, leave it back on the previous slide. Thank you. Good job, you guys. I'll always say next. All right. So anyway, when I was saying all that, a girl from the back of the room raised her hand and she said, you know, I knew John. And in tears, she said, I knew him. And he told me that he was thinking about killing himself. And she said, but I didn't do anything because I didn't want him to get mad at me. Right then, the student council student that was presenting our presentation in that class, she said, you know, I knew John too, and I didn't say anything either. She said, now I regret that I didn't say anything. And she said, now I'd rather have a mad friend than a dead friend. Next slide. During that semester, you guys, we had 48 students at my school put on suicide holds, 72-hour suicide hold. What that means is those kids had a plan of how they were going to kill themselves, how they were going to take their lives. They had a method, they had a time, and they had a place that they were going to do that. They were planning on taking their lives. I can't imagine if we had 48 more suicides at our school. What happened is during that semester, I had gone to a school counseling program for all the counselors in our district, training, our regular type trainings. And someone came up to me and said, Sandy, you're at Green Mountain? And I said, yes. She said, that's the death school. Oh, you guys, and that brought tears to my eyes because Green Mountain was my alma mater. I had graduated. That's where I went to school. And and I knew Green Mountain was not the death school. I knew that kids cared there. I knew that it was not the death school. And what was especially hurtful was when I was counseling at Columbine, we heard their comments. Oh, Columbine is the death school. And that made that even difficult for me because at the beginning of my teaching career, I student taught at Columbine High School and I coached with Dave Sanders, the teacher that was killed. So when I heard again the death school, when I went to that school counselor presentation, that just broke my heart. It ripped my heart out because that was my school. I was doing everything I could to not lose any more kids and to empower kids so that we can help them. Next slide. And so what happened is after we heard about the fourth suicide, do you remember I told you about that there were 3 kids at that table in that art class? And the kids in the class asked the girl, when are you going to kill yourself? That girl was Brandy Dumas. And what happened is she knew all those 4 guys that took their lives. The next morning after we heard about John's suicide, Brandy came running into my office in tears. She said, Miss Austin, you got to help me. I said, what's going on, Brandy? She said, Miss Austin, after I heard about John's suicide last night, she said, I was driving home and I was at an intersection at a stoplight, and I was at an intersection and I thought, I can't handle this anymore. She thought, if I see a semi truck coming through the intersection while I'm still here waiting, she said, I'm going to pull out in front of it and I'll be gone. I'll be dead. And I don't have to deal with this anymore. She said, Miss Austin, no semi truck came. She said, Miss Austin, you got to help me. I can't handle this anymore. Next slide. And so, you guys, I talked with Brandy over the next several days and over the next several weeks. She was a freshman, a 9th grader in high school at this time. And so I talked to her, and I thought, we have got to empower our kids to be able to reach out to their hurting peers. And so I started a school club called the Bionic Team, which stands for, believe it or not, I care. And I thought, we've got to reach out to these kids that are going through those things that the kids at Columbine and the kids at my school who took their lives, we got to reach out to those kids. And so we started outreaches to kids that are new, that were sick, that were hospitalized, that lost loved ones, so that we can reach out to them and let them know they're seen, they matter, and they're not alone. So we reached out to them through various ways. We had lunches for the new students to pair them, to connect them with another student at our school that was interested in those same activities that they were. We reached out to kids that were sick. We sent them get well packets to let them know we're thinking about them. And we gave them some tools to be able to help them when they were sick so that hopefully they got back to school as soon as possible. Kids that were hospitalized, we went to the hospital and visited them and said, hey, we're thinking about you. What was interesting is one of those kids, when we came out from the hospital room, the mom came out to see us, and she said, you guys, thank you. She said, you guys are the first people that have come to see her, or that even called her, or that connected with her at all since she's been here for a week and a half. And she said, I have seen in the last few days that she was really getting discouraged. She was really getting lonely, really feeling forgotten. And she said, but with you guys coming today, already I see a change in her. I see her smiling. I see a glimmer of hope in her eyes. And she said, no, go back to that previous slide. And so she said, Miss Austin, thank you for you guys coming, because we, again, I'll say next on the next slide, but please go back to that previous slide. So she, thank you. So she said, Miss Austin, I think she's going to be okay. The girl was back in school 2 days later, and she was ready. And she said, I want to join Bionic. And it was just powerful. Also, we reach out to kids that lose loved ones. And with that, what happens is we go to their home. As you see these kids in the picture, we go to their home with a pie and say, hey, we're thinking about you. Just want to let you know you were here for you, and we're thinking of you. And then also, as we kept doing these outreaches, the kids said, Miss Austin, I heard about a death of a student at Evergreen High School in a car accident. Can we do something for them? So you guys, we did a huge poster, a 30-foot poster, and we put it out in our cafeteria, and our kids signed it. The students signed it. The staff signed it. Parents that came into the building that day, they signed it, and we started delivering those pies, those, I'm sorry, not those pies, those posters, or mailing those posters to schools that had tragedies. And so what was interesting, if you remember that school counseling meeting that I was at during, right after our suicides, and someone said, you're from Green Mountain, that's the death school. What happened is I went to that same kind of a meeting after, in the 3 years after doing our bionic outreaches and everything and reaching out to other schools. Someone came up to me after one of those meetings and said, Sandy, you're at Green Mountain? I said, yes. She said, you guys are the caring school, because when we lost that student from that car accident, you guys had that poster there, and we were all going up and looking at it, and that really encouraged us. You guys are the caring school. You guys, we went from the death school to the caring school in 3 years through Bionic, and we were making a difference, not only in our school, but in our community and across the world. We even sent a big poster to Japan after one of their tsunamis, and sent a poster to Taiwan and different places. Next slide. So as we were doing these outreaches, I thought, okay, we need to reach out to bullying. And I thought, I don't want to do we had a peer counseling program at my school. We were trying to deal with bullying, but we weren't stopping it. And that was the reason for the suicides in another way. And so I thought, we've got to do something. So I came up with a program that's called Prevent Bullying by Just Saying Hi. And what it is, next slide. What it is we encourage the kids. H is help. Get help from an adult. If you guys hear that a friend is struggling and talking about suicide, or if they've said they've been bullied, tell an adult right away, so that we can take care of the bully and the bullied students. So the adults will take care of that from that end. But the I in Just Saying in Hi is initiate contact. So we tell the kids, tell our bionic kids, hey, you guys, during third and fourth period today, Jason Tafoya was bullied. And so initiate contact. Initiate contact means if you guys see him in the hall, say, hi, Jason. They don't have to become best friends with him or anything, but just say hi to him. If he's in your class, let's say, hey, Jason, did you get that homework yesterday about that English assignment? I am so confused. I don't understand it. So do you know what that is? And so then what they did is, so kids are just talking to them. What happens, you guys, is at the end of a day, we have at least 6 kids going up and saying something to Jason. As you guys probably know, bullying happens a lot of time in isolation. And so when the kids are starting to reach out to him, the bully thinks, oh my gosh, I can't get away with it anymore. I'm just going to keep getting in trouble. So I'm going to stop bullying. And you guys, through our Prevent Bullying by Just Saying Hi, we have stopped bullying in schools. It has been incredible what has been happening. Next slide, please. Let me get some tea. So what happened is, a few years ago, I was talking to an elementary school about our Prevent Bullying by Just Saying Hi program. And I said, you guys, my generation has failed you, because me as an older adult, my generation has failed you, because bullying was happening when I was in high school. in elementary school, and it's still happening. And it even happened in my parents' schools. You guys, right then, a third grader stood up and said, Miss Austin, maybe our generation can be the generation to stop bullying once and for all. Woo! Doesn't that get you guys excited? Oh my gosh. If these kids, they could stop bullying, oh my gosh. And that's what we're planting those seeds that these guys can do it. Next slide, please. And so what happened is I been interviewed. I've spoken globally, and I've been interviewed on TV shows and radio programs. And I was interviewed on a radio program, and a lady called me from Senior Living Center, said, Sandy, can we start a bionic team at my senior living center? I said, sure, tell me what you're thinking. She said, Sandy, when our residents come in, they have either lost a spouse or their partner, or they are getting memory issues like dementia. And she said, what they do is they come and they just go in their room and they don't come out. They're so discouraged and everything. So if we had a bionic team at our senior living center, our residents could go to that person, invite them to lunch, and introduce them to people, like-minded people. Like if they were in music, then we can introduce them to music people. If they were an athlete, we can introduce them to athletes, or art or whatever. And so they can enfold into our senior living center easily. Also, then what happened is, next slide. What happened is, at Sunrise Senior Living Center, where we started this, they also said, we want to do things for our community. So they made placemats for the Meals on Wheels program. Some of you in other countries may not know what this is. On Thanksgiving, our Thanksgiving Day, what happens is charities go to veterans, hospitals, senior living centers to bring a meal for Thanksgiving. And so Sunrise Senior Living, they said, we want to make placemats. So they made these placemats and laminated them and gave them to Meals on Wheels to hand out to the elderly on Thanksgiving, to let them know they care. Also, then Pomona High School was the school that I was at this time. And this Sunrise Senior Living said, can we come and talk with your kids? I said, you guys are an hour away. I said, we can't come down to see you. They said, we'll come up. And so we started having monthly luncheons, and we would to have the kids talk with the senior citizens, and we would ask questions related to the holiday of that month. Our very first question was, if you could have lunch with anyone throughout history, living or dead, who would it be and why? And so the senior citizens said Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe, Abraham Lincoln. Our kids were saying Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber. I thought, how on earth are these people going to come together and learn about each other? Oh, you guys, incredible things happen. I don't have time to go into that, but there you see some pictures. You see those blankets that those seniors have. We made fleece tie blankets for them. And that man with that, oh, I'm going to cry almost. That man with that blue blanket, you guys, he didn't have any visitors at that place at all, ever. And so what happened when we gave him that blanket, he had that with him everywhere he went. When he went to the meals, when he went to the art activities, when he went to the movie projects there in their building, wherever he is, when he slept, he always had that blanket. And when he died, they put that with him. And it was very precious. That gate let him know people care. Next slide. It was very precious seeing what was happening there. And then we thought, okay, we have these clubs throughout the school, bionic teams throughout the world. Wouldn't it be amazing if on one day, see how much of a difference all of our schools could make together, even if they're in Taiwan or Belize or Mexico or wherever. Let's see what kind of a difference we can make. So we created 10-10 Eye Care Day for us to, for everyone at our school and in our community, reach out to 10 people that day, one person each hour for 10 hours to make a difference in 10 people's lives. So what we did is we told our students, we said, okay, you guys, when you wake up in the morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, call your grandma and tell her I love you. Before you leave for school at 8 o'clock, put a Hershey's Kiss on the pillow of every person in your family to let them know when they go to bed that night that you were thinking about them all day. Then when you get to school, bring a flower for the secretary. We told them, bring something for each of your teachers. Do something for the custodians, the cafeteria workers. We told the teachers, do something for every student in your classes. And what was was fun is next slide. So we did individual outreaches that day. We also did group outreaches. The football team went and raked leaves for their for an elderly person in the community. If we could have the next slide, please. They raked leaves for an elderly person in the community that had back surgery and couldn't rake their leaves. Also, what we did as a bionic team every year, at the end of the day, we would go to the police department and fire department and give them a platter of cookies or vegetable tray, to say thank you for what you do. We also did community service projects for the homeless. We collected socks. We didn't do all these all the time, but we went to Children's Hospital and we collected coloring books at our school to give to the kids there at the Children's Hospital. At the Veterans Hospital, we asked them what would the veterans like, and they said the veterans, when they come, they typically have a book. Can you guys make bookmarks for them? So we thought, let's make some colorful bookmarks so they know they're from kids. And when they're reading the book, they know the kids care about them. And the senior living centers, what we did, the senior living center said, in these rooms of our senior citizens, what happens is the walls are blank. There's nothing on the walls. They said, if your students could create posters for them, colorful posters, then they would look at that and think, those kids care about me. So that was exciting. What was so neat was my last year before I retired early to start Bionic. What happened is we did 24,000 outreaches at Pomona High School that year. We only had about 1,500 kids. So not all the kids participated in doing 10 things, but a lot of them did more. Some of them did 30 things. But also their parents at their work sites, they were doing things for their employees and their clients and that type of thing. And then also for, so that was there at the, then their friends or their siblings, the kids, their younger siblings, like at the elementary school, they were doing outreaches at the elementary school. And then Chipotle, they said, we're going to give a 10% discount to anyone that comes in during the day. So anyone that comes in, you'll get a 10% discount between 4 and 6 o'clock on 1010 Eye Care Day. And then Chili's restaurant, they did one even better. And they said, for 4 hours that night, we will give 10% of everything that we get. We won't give them back to the customers, but we're going to give that to Bionic to help pay for your outreaches. So that was exciting. Next slide. And so that's what has been incredible to see these kids as they've been going. And so the next slide, what's happening is we are impacting other schools. Next slide, please. We are impacting other schools. I think that's the next slide. Let me see if I can move it to the next slide. We're impacting other schools. So we've done those posters. Next slide, please, Arjun. So what happens is when we've done those posters to other schools, what has happened is I went to counsel at another school and we did one of our posters there. Next slide, please. We did one of our posters and we brought it there. And when I went to council there, what happened is, next slide, please. What happened is I saw posters from 3 other schools. We saw posters from 3 other schools that we had reached out to. Now they were reaching out to other schools to make a difference for them. Next slide, please. All right, so what happened is Eva's a college student, and she came back to me during her spring break from college. She said, Miss Austin, you know, I learned from Bionic. There was a girl on my floor in my dorm that had lost a loved one. Everyone was avoiding her because they didn't know what to say. And so they said, excuse me. So she said, what I did, I didn't know her. She didn't know me, but I bought a Snickers candy bar and I wrote a note on a index card saying, I heard you lost a loved one. I just want to let you know I'm thinking of you. She went up to her and gave that to her. And the girl started crying. She said, thank you. You are the first person that talked to me in a week. And she said, I'm from Kansas and no one has talked to me. And I just was so lonely that I was starting to think about suicide. She said, thank you for caring. Now I know I'm going to be okay. Bionic activates compassion. Next slide, please. So what has happened in 22? Remember I told you about Brandy, that girl that came in and said, Miss Austin, you got to stop me. She said that she was at that stoplight. You guys, she is still here today. She has 3 kids. She has saved so many people from taking their lives by suicide. She is training her kids now, her 3 kids, how to reach out. Bionic is impacting generations to come. Next slide. So 22 years ago, I started Bionic. Uh, and what has happened is we have surveyed our Bionic students to say, how has Bionic impacted you? And 89% of our kids say that Bionic gives them something to look forward to in coming to school. How many of you guys know of kids that hate going to school? Bionic makes kids want to go to school. It helps the kids to learn how to work together in teams. So that makes them really good employees later when they become employees. Also, it gives the kids, 96% of our kids, it gives them confidence that they can help others. Next slide. So 22 years ago, I started Bionic. And what's exciting is I led it for 14 years at my own school. I had 1,200 kids that were involved in Bionic, and they reached out to over 144,000 people. What happened is we were winning some different awards. Can I have the next slide, please? We were winning some different awards, National Philanthropy Day awards, and we won it first time at my first school at Green Mountain High School, and the second time at the next school. Can I have the next slide, please? And what happens, they said, Sandy, this needs to be in every school all over the world. And I said, I don't know how to do that. They said, apply for this pitch competition. I did that. Next slide, please. I applied for that pitch competition and I won it. And 7 years ago, I started Bionic. Now we're in over 150 schools worldwide, and none of those schools have had school shootings. Arjun, next slide, please. Also, over 2,300 schools have inquired about Bionic. Next slide, please. And let's see. One of my students came up to me and said, next slide, please. One of my students came up and said, Miss Austin, have you heard the song How to Save a Life by The Fray, the music group The Fray? I said, no. And she said, can we ask them if they would allow us to, next slide, please, to play that song, have that as our theme song. We checked with them and they said yes. And on my regular PowerPoint, there was going to be a song there that says how to save a life. So next slide, please. Or John or Melinda, can someone do the next slide, please? So we are creating a caring world. And Arjun, can you please go advance the slides? So if you want information about Bionic, go to giftfromsandy.com. Next slide. And then the next slide. And then so how you can help, back one slide, sorry. Back one slide. If you want to start a Bionic team in your school, or if you want to participate in 1010 Eye Care Day, here are some ways to do that. It costs $1,200 to start a club in a school. It costs $600 for schools to renew. With all the budget cuts here in America, we had 70 schools last year that could not renew their school Bionic teams. So we're looking at people to donate. You can start a Bionic team in your business. You can start a Bionic team in senior living center. Even churches are starting Bionic teams. Next slide. So if you want information on this, you guys, go to giftfromsandy.com, giftfromsandy.com, and there is some information there. It's a caring culture tip sheet. So there are 13 ideas. If you want to make a difference in someone's life today, or if you want to prepare to do a 1010 Eye Care Day, we have 13 ideas there, and there's information there. And if you sign up at giftfromsandy.com, then we will send you information and we'll put you on our database if that's okay. And then if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe, but that's how you can get in touch with us. So next slide. You guys, thank you for being here today. And thank you for caring. For you to be here in this presentation, something saying empowering kids to care, that means you care. So if there's you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat. and we can, the slideshow is done. So if you guys want to put me back on, if you want, if you don't want to, that's okay. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. So what is one practical step every parent teacher can take to create a safer environment for the children? Get the giftfromsandy.com. Go to giftfromsandy.com. Get our caring culture tip sheet. There's many steps on there, information there. And again, that puts you in touch with our database. We'll start sending you information. So thank you, Lydia. Jacqueline, what messages would you like every young person to remember from my talk? The thing is, you guys, I did not say this yet. I believe that every one of us is a gift. Every one of us is a gift. And I encourage all of us to make a difference in one person's life every day. When we're doing that, when we buy coffee for someone, when we give someone a flower, when we smile and say hi to someone, different things like that, that makes their day, and that makes them know that they are cared for. And so that's what's exciting with that. So that's at least one thing. Again, on that caring culture tip sheet, that there's some information there on messages. How can communities work together to prevent bullying, promote kindness? Start a bionic team at your schools. That we've stopped bullying on different places. Again, you guys can stop that, the sharing of the screen if you want. Let me see. Thank you, Dr. Juliet. Can't wait to watch your talk. And Beatrice, thank you. Thank you, everyone, you guys. I'm starting to do some Facebook posts for the next 365 days. I am posting every day with one idea that everyone can do that day to make a difference. And hey, guys. And so what I'm hoping is that'll spur you guys on to come up with more ideas of other things you do. Maybe you don't want to. Yesterday, I said I was going to give a card to my postal carrier that gives me my mail every day, and just say thank you. And so I will put that in their box today. After this, I will go there and put that there. But anyway, Melinda, thank you. Everyone, thank you for being here. And you guys there. Oh, I see Robin. Wow. Oh, thank you, Robin. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Dr. Juliet. Thank you, you guys. So yes. So if you want to look for me on Facebook, this is what I have. That's my look on Facebook, Sandy Austin. And I have it in my profile. So go there, and I'm going to start posting. I started 2 days ago. So I'm doing it for 365 days every day. And I hope that's spurring you guys on to make a difference. If we all do one thing every day, just think, if you have a school, if you have 900 kids in your school, if every single person did one thing that day, what an incredible feel that would be in that school. So Melinda, I love your smile. So you go, girl. Thank you for having me. You can tell I get excited about this.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sandy. Also, you have got a really great comments from the speakers and the attendees too. And you have a very energetic talk, Sandy. And thank you so much for your valuable time today. Please be on the backstage and join the next session, Sandy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bless you guys. Take care. Keep caring. Let's make a difference in this world.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.